All right, so today is the day that we are going to start shelling corn. In the last video, we set the silo up. We got the combine all ready to go. Dug this corn head out. Just cylinder speed is too slow. We need to ramp up that cylinder speed. There we go. We got that satisfied. So we're going to go ahead and head to the field. I just wanted to make sure this head would engage and run. We went through this head 2 years ago. So it's had one season on it is all. Last season, which is about 300 and some acres, and I've got a little less than 100 to do. And yeah, not enough to fill the silo, but it is what it is. So we've got to travel a few miles before we get to where we're going. We are at the farm that is furthest to the south of us. We have to go to the farm that's furthest to the north. So let's go ahead and get there, and we'll join up with you guys when we get to the field. All right, so here is the first field that we're going to start with. It's a little after 6 o'clock. I'm probably only going to do one load. A little late getting going today with all of the other things going on, but at any rate, it is what it is. So we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll see how things go here. It's 32% now. Yielding pretty good, but it's going to have a higher yield with a wetter moisture content. So we'll plug away here. This field was the first one, I believe, that I started with last year as well. So it's unfortunate that it is as wet as it is, but it is what it is. So let's keep moving on here and see how it goes. Well, we now have a full bin load on. We'll run on over and offload it onto one of these trucks here. They just pulled in with the second truck now, and we'll see what this sample looks like as it's going out and into the truck. Should be pretty good and clean. Pull up here like that. old unload. Gonna have a little bit of wheat coming out. That's what was in the bin. Well, here's the first load going in the silo. Today is Friday, October 31st. We combined this on the 29th. However, it rained all day yesterday, and we did not end up unloading it because it rained all day. So we're just getting things dialed in here. This hasn't run since last year. Doesn't want to come out of the truck just yet, but it will start flowing here in a minute. Going in. As typical, dust cloud going in. So I'll have to check that. Once we get that load off, we'll climb in there and see what it looks like. Alright, so we've got the first load in here, and we'll just take a peek inside. Well, won't really let me get the door open, but we can get you a sample. And that's what corn looks like, all ground up. I don't know why it's all on this one side, but it's spun all the way around the silo nice and evenly. I don't want to pull this door completely out because then I won't be able to get it back in. I'll have a mess of corn on the ground here. So the roller mill is doing its job, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to combine anything today. The weather is kind of crappy, which is okay, but it either needs to rain or stop. So we'll figure out what we're gonna do here. Well, we're fixing to get ready here today. Today is Sunday, November 2nd. And we've got nicer weather here upon us today. We came over here Friday night. Hey, you gotta push that panel forward. We came over here Friday night, and we originally just came over here to see that panel right there. That back panel's got to push forward, and all we were doing is just dropping the grain buggy off. It was raining at home, but when we got over here, about 4 miles south of here, the roads were dry. So when I got here, I said, well, we might as well start combining. And we combined 7 or 8 acres, got that one field done, and then we weren't able to do anything here yesterday. It was a little slimy, so we're gonna get going. Well, why don't you move that truck down in there by the road? They just went up there to get that other truck, and we'll get started here. Okay, so we're moving right along here. Figured I'd throw the drone up in the air. We've got this one field that is just about done. Just got the straight rows that we're working on. Thought I'd throw the drone up in the air. We've got this second truck just about loaded. My nephew, he ended up leaving here a few minutes ago with the first load that we made already, and it is just a little bit after noon time. Go ahead and get pulled up here, and I think this is just about going to fill this truck, this bin load here. Get pulled over the top of the truck here, and we'll look inside it with the drone. But the other night when we were combining, it started raining towards the tail end of the one particular field that I was on, and this corn is high in moisture. And I had part of a bin that I had left on the combine just because the truck that I had that we brought over here was full. Andrew had that pulled in one of the barns that are over at this farm. And it was only a partial bin, so I said I'll just leave that on. We've got the tarp on the bin, and we'll worry about offloading it when we get over here the following day or two to start combining. Well, it didn't work out so good. The load, or the bin load of corn, did not want to unload off the combine. There's grates over the top of the augers that are in the bin, and the corn was bridged up on those grates, and it took a little bit of jockeying around to get the corn to unload. This corn is running in the mid to upper 30s for moisture here, and with it being that high in moisture, it can cake up and it can cause you issues like that. So we're just about offloaded here. I've got a little bit more that I could probably put onto this truck, and then I can start on to the next one. We only had about 85 or so acres to do this year, and we're probably about half done now, not quite. We've got this field here, and then another field that's at the end of this one, and then we'll be done in this area, just on the other side of the hedgerow there. This is just about empty. And we'll go ahead and get back to shelling here. We're not running a grain buggy today. Andrew wanted to clean up sand-laden manure that's over in the lagoon that's over to Jared's. So he's working on that today. And we might need him later on. We've got the next field that we go to after we get these two here done is on a bit of a side hill, and I'm not sure if we're going to need the grain buggy over there or not. But like I was saying, this corn is in the mid to upper 30s for moisture. When we were over at this farm, this is a conventional variety. We only had two other fields that were conventional corn on this farm, and the rest of the corn was BMR. So we could have chose to chop these, however, we didn't have a bunk that we could have gone into to put this corn in, because we were working on chopping BMR. And to be honest with you, this corn, there wasn't much stalk here, and I didn't feel that it was going to yield all that well for silage, but it's yielded pretty good on the grain side here. Yielded a lot better than I thought. We're right around 200 bushel to the acre, which is decent for this ground, because this ground is somewhat marginal. The corn up by the road here is real short. However, it had a decent ear on it, and it wasn't too awful bad, which I was pleasantly surprised. So we're gonna keep at it here. I'm gonna land the drone when I get down to the other end of the field. The combine's been working pretty good. Obviously, I haven't had any issues yet, or you guys would have seen them already. Other than that corn not wanting to load out of the combine this morning. Usually we don't leave corn in the bin, or any grain for that matter, in the bin overnight. But I'm gonna have to make a note that next time we can't do that when the moisture is as high as it is. So we'll keep plugging away here. We'll throw the drone back up in the air when we get to that one farm over on Monroe Road that has the side hill in it, give you guys somewhat of a view as to what that field looks like. That is all side hill. I filmed from that field before. It's kind of a booger to do with the combine, but it's not really any much more fun to chop either because of it being so steep. But we'll join up with you guys in a while here. We'll just keep plugging away. So here's what we're up to. We are on the Hudson farm now, and this is quite a side hill in this one particular field. So I just got done offloading onto that black truck 18. And we're not running a grain buggy today because the rest of the guys are spreading manure. Whitaker is unloading the trucks. And I'm running the combine, carrying the bin loads of corn over to where the trucks are currently parked here right now in this hayfield that we're going to plow up and put corn in next year. And then we want to seed this here down, and you can see where the combine's traveling across. This is all a side hill. It's real steep. We've got a small little field up on top there, which we call it all of the same field. You can see it's kind of a roller coaster like type field here. It's real steep on this one side. We don't even farm that where the weeds are. And we've got one heck of a steep hill that goes up and over the mountain here, if you will. We have filmed from this particular field before. So we've got, you know, the corn is on this field here, and you can kind of see how it rolls around here pretty good. And what I'm doing is wandering around in circles. I wasn't really paying attention to where I was driving, but at any rate, I go along this steep side of this field with an empty bin, and then I come back full on this one side here, and we're somewhat on the level. Then I go down over this hill and I drive around and over to where the trucks are parked over on the other side of the mountain here. And we have a ton of deer that are in this field. Oh my God. I've got to get over here and see this buck. I just parked here now. I've got to fly over and I got to show you guys this buck that is just eating corn here right now. You guys might not be able to see him. He's right there. Look at the size of the rack on this guy. You see him? I spooked him. He might stop. I'll idle this down. No, I spooked him. Yeah, he ran into the weeds there, but I don't know what size buck that was, but at any rate, yeah. So he was okay with what we had going on until he seen the drone, and that spooked him. So, we'll take you guys up this side hill here. I can show you what this looks like. Fly on over to this side here. It's steep up and down, but then it is real steep as far as the side hill goes here along this side. And then on the top side it starts to even out a little bit, about, I don't know, 18 rows up or so up this hill. And then this hayfield that's up on top is just steep up and down. And when the previous owner owned this, they milked cows here, and they had this all pastured. This mountain part was all pastured. And my audio camera keeps kicking off. So, alright, we're gonna get moving here.